Hello everybody, the Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.02 version 5.0.1. Today we have a 1v1 on Forts of Isen II between the players BraBox as Dwarves and his opponent, which is J.J.R. Of course, this will be the second game, pretty much mirroring this one, except they're in different places. And of course, the other person is hosting. I believe J.J.R. might be hosting this one. But now J.J.R. is Isengard, and BraBox is Dwarves. It was completely turned around in the first game I'll have uploaded of this matchup. So that's cool, I guess. We'll see how BraBox fares as Dwarves and J.J.R. fares as Isengard. So BraBox going for a Hall of Warriors into his Mineshaft. As per usual, standard stuff is Dwarves, really. Same thing as his opponent did last time. J.J.R., who is going for an Uruk Pit a little bit quicker than his opponent did last game. I'm not going to be comparing too much to last game, but to start out, there's not a whole lot to talk about, really. So, what have you. He's going to be getting some Urukai, which will be handy. Of course, he will have some troops out by the time the Dwarves get here, which is good. And the Dwarves, where are they sending their mine shaft at? This is his forward mine builder, undoubtedly. Curious as to where he's going to put it. He's putting one here. I'm not sure where this builder's going exactly. Okay, he's going to head south. Not a bad idea. Either he could pop out around here somewhere, or whatever, what have you. But Isengard will be in his base before that, I think, and he may have to use those guys in the mine to actually defend with. Of course, he will have a second battalion by the time the Isengard troops get there, if they do manage to get into his base. And JJ is scouting, undoubtedly, for that forward mine with his builders. Can definitely keep that. I definitely know that's happening. Builders do have an increased sight range in 2.02, which is great. I think it's all builders. Not just Dwarven builders, to make up for the fact that revealed random is the thing. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. Let's see what a Dwarven builder's view range is like. I think it's all builders. It's about the same, I'd say. Yeah. That's kind of neat. Dwarven builders taking a bit of damage from the troll. Of course, undoubtedly, J.J.R. has seen that Dwarven builder, though. If he was paying attention, but he might not be because he is busy microing his troops up here. He did throw down a war chant on his Uruk warriors. We have 2 battalions of guardians out on the field right now. He did get that mineshaft right next to the Hall of Warriors, of course, which is a prime one to take out. That does kind of knock out his tunnel system for a temporary second. He's building it more over here now, or another one rather. Possibly replace the other one later, but good pickup nonetheless. We have some quick pikes out for Isengard. Of course, as you saw last time, BraBox didn't choose to build pikemen really until the battle wagon started coming out, which was pretty far into the game, I'd say. Not far, but like at least 10 minutes, I'd say. He's opting to get some early pikes to creep, which is a good call. But they won't be very useful against the Guardians. Keep that in mind, which is why sometimes you don't want to go for too many early pikemen, as you might imagine. But 1 battalion is actually pretty useful to creep around with, because they are much better at destroying warg layers and troll layers and such than their counterpart, the swordsman. And there's some dwarves there. That's a forward mine that really he'll have to worry about. Crossbows are just going to stand here and wait for guys to pop out. So the dwarves do pop out here. If only he had the banners, he could just charge them. That would be pretty useful, but of course, unrealistic in early game, really. As not many people would buy banners just to do that. Buying banners can be pretty useful for dwarves, though. I think, at least. But of course, you do have to have a level 2 Hall of Warriors, which is not really the smartest thing to go for early game, in my opinion. Archery range. Getting some axe throwers fairly quickly. Good call. He's definitely getting axe throwers faster than his opponent did last game. I said I wouldn't compare too much, but I guess there will be a little bit here and there. You won't see these two games together They might be even not even the same week, which is fairly likely. But still, use your memory or what have you. Lots of guardians here. One of them is level 2, and they do have the charge. Hopefully the dwarves remember to use that when he has ability. He could turn around and actually charge them, but of course he will take damage from the crossbows. We do have a Sharku out though. J.J. Rambo going for a Sharku, which is not a bad choice. Of course he can run through, trample, and etc. He's also good for running around and harassing the dwarves' farms, or mine shafts. And these Uruk-hai are picking off these phalanxes pretty easily, as you would expect. Put them in shield wall and hold ground stance, so they are very, very tanky. Even the Axlors will have trouble killing these, and they will definitely fall to them. Meanwhile, some Guardians running away there. Some other Guardians coming into the bottom here. So BraBox looking to do a little economic damage potentially to his opponent JJ. Doesn't look like he's attacking yet. He's got guys over here as well. Going back into the mine. No one's claimed either of the inns yet. Trolls are both still alive, so it'll make things a bit difficult. Yeah, like I said, Sharku, now that he's up, he will be able to ride around and destroy farms, or what have you. And of course, if he does get wargs, that will make his warg riders all the better, because he is a warg leader, basically. Target wargs or warg riders coming under Sharku's control. Can you use that on these? I mean, I don't know why you would want to, but I think you can actually use that on those. But those are pretty shit, in my opinion. All the layer things, like the goblin layers, the warg layers, even the whites are kind of shit. The only one that's really useful is the trolls and the fire drakes. Spiderlings are kind of shit too. I don't really like using untamed legions on anything but trolls and fire drakes personally, as everything else seems kind of useless. Excuse me. We got some phalanxes, some guardians, and some axors here. The axors being picked off pretty quickly though by these crossbows with war chant. Lurks is still level 1, but he is on the field now. JJ going pretty hero heavy here. He's got 2 heroes, as the dwarves don't have any. Like I may have said last game, I would like to see a Prince Brand on the field at some point from the dwarves. But like I said, at the same time, I realize Lurtz can be a killer for Prince Brand. But if he has an army with him, he should do pretty well. Just because there's a Lurtz on the field doesn't mean you shouldn't get one. We even have a Worm Tongue for J.J. Rambo. Not a bad call, actually. Since he's doing pretty well, I'd say a Worm Tongue would be pretty useful. If you can manage to level him up, his Venomous Words is great. Reduces enemy armor damage, of course, nullifies enemy leadership. Same thing as Creebane or Freezing Rain. He also has Escape, which is handy. He's got Backstab for if there is any Dwarven heroes that pop up. And of course, Coerce. Temporarily gains control of target enemy hero, which is also nice. I mean, having a leveled up Wormtongue is a detriment to the Dwarves. He doesn't want to have the hero out that's very strong if there's a Wormtongue, as you would imagine. So he'll just get taken control of, and then he'll start losing stuff to his own units. Of course, it's not good for him. Wormtongue not leveling up too much, though. He is fairly weak, as you would expect Wormtongue to be. Almost dying there and having to run away. Looks like Sharku and the crossbows doing good damage. Lurt's here as well. Sharku's already level 5. At level 70 gets Man-Eater, which is pretty good. So if he kills a target enemy with it, he gets 50% damage, 100% armor, which makes him pretty beastly. And he does heal as well. Looks like some pikemen taking out the troll lair for J.J. Rambo up here. So you could potentially capture this. I think their in unit is Wildmen, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's right. Could be wrong. So if he wants to get Wildmen of Dunland. Yeah, it is, because they build Wildmen out of there and their clan steading. Of course. I know this. Dwarves pushing in with a fairly sizable force, though. So BraBox looking to do some damage. Might get it done. He's also got troops in the south, and he potentially is going to throw down a very forward mine right in the back of the base. Berserkers being pumped out from J.J. Rambo. Unfortunately, though, they're not going to be able to do too much. Once they get focused down, they die pretty quickly. They do take a lot of lives with them, at least. When they swing, they cleave, which is quite handy. As you see, he kills like 3 guys in one swing. I'm leveling up there to level 2. What does he get? Level 3 venomous words? Yeah, even having him out at level 3 is pretty useful. And so the dwarves are looking pretty strong, though. He's definitely doing fairly well. Isengard hasn't quite picked up that gold yet. Isengard's definitely doing alright too, though. He's doing a good job harassing his opponents. He's got looks like Sharku actually killed the cave troll up here. There's still a forward mine here as well. And here. And here. Oh dear. J.J.R. needs to take care of those forward mines. He's got them all over his base now. It's going to be hard to get the dwarves out of here. That is a bit of a problem, I would say. Good call capturing this in. He's definitely going to need the extra troops, I think. Wildmen are great for raiding mine shafts, I think. With their torch upgrades, they can do quite a bit of damage and take mine shafts down fairly easily and quickly. Ooh, J.J.R. loses the builder there. That's unfortunate. BraBox definitely taking control of this game, I'd say. As he's doing quite well. The heroes don't seem to be helping too much here. We have devastation for J.J.R. though. And he has 10 power points. We have 15 power points saved up for BraBox, who has gotten for summon hobbits. And let's look at the economy real quick. 400 for Isengard is a max. He's actually over his command point limit. 435 of 400. We have 491 of 650, so the dwarves are definitely doing better on the economy front, which is good for him. Keeping up his mine shafts, like I said last game, is good for his mobility, his economy, and his map control. So definitely a good call there. He's retreated. The berserkers and heroes will clean up that mine shaft. And while there's an army of dwarves and hobbits and such here, chasing around Saruman. Saruman is an expensive hero, of course, and takes a long time to rebuild, so he doesn't want to lose him, that's for sure. And he is command point capped. He cannot build these wild men of Dunland. He is queued up, unfortunately for him. And he did lose a builder as well. A lot of things are coming together to stunt the growth of J.J.R., so to speak. Looks like he killed the troll here and captured the white... not the white lair, the inn. That's very much not a white lair. Now we have an attack from the dwarves. The box looking to take some lives from these Isengard scum. Hobbits focusing down that berserker, taking him down easily. Wormtongue taking a lot of damage from the hobbits. If the hobbits focus down Wormtongue, he'd die immediately. He does use Vanish though, managed to get away. Very useful power to have. Of course, it doesn't help if he's aggressive. He takes a lot more damage. But he's so weak, he kind of has to be aggressive to do damage, I think. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that J.J.R. has much answer to the dwarves here. The dwarves are definitely controlling the game. BraBox quite well. Which is definitely a turnaround from the last game, where Isengard had pretty good control for the late game at least. Early game it was kind of even. This game doesn't look to be as even, I'd say. I'd say J.J.R. is having a bit of issue as Isengard here. And there you go, Wild Men with Torches. Like I said, very good for storing things, but he did pass up the mine shaft over here. Not sure why, possibly chasing the builder, but that would be a mistake, in my opinion. Why would you pass this one to destroy this one that has Axors in front of it? Seems like a slight mishap at the end of the world, but still. Every life counts, really, when you don't have much of an army, as you might imagine. He's really going heavy on the heroes, though, which could be good or bad for him. I'm not sure. I mean, I leveled up Saruman, and Lurtz is always nice. Of course, Wormtongue just adds to the pile of heroes here. And he does have Sharku as well, who's continuing to raid farms. Doesn't need to get out of there though, he's taking a lot of pike damage. Being a mounted unit, probably don't want to do that. He's going to need to get out of here, he's going to die. He's probably going to kill himself somehow. Oh no, he could run into some guardians. We're hiding in the trees. They could use charge actually on him. Oh, he used Man-Eater. There you go. Fully healed him, he gets the buff. Nice call there. Meanwhile, the army of BraBox moving in from the north. A little bit in from the east, or west rather, being taken in by Saruman. Taken in? Taken on. Saruman's not taking any visitors in. He's not adopting any people or taking in any vagrants. Not at this time, at least. There's the rally call down on the Dwarven army. Gonna go in for possibly the kill. This is a pretty big army. And once he gets this big clump right here, he'll take out this and a lot of damage to the fort as well. There's venomous words from Wormtongue as well as the Crewbane. I think they did the same thing though, so they might not. I don't think they stack or more. I'm not sure about that part, but it is literally the same power, so I'd imagine they don't. We managed to kill Wormtongue off. That's a nice pickup there. Some Deathbringers being brought out right before this Uruk pit goes down. And they're going to cut their way through the Dwarven army here. Deathbringers could turn this game around. Of course, he did lose his Uruk pit, which is unfortunate. He'll rebuild that very quickly. Hopefully not stand in the fire. A short-lived fire. Small setback for J.J.R. He did lose his Uruk pit, but he can rebuild that. He should probably get multiple Uruk pits, actually. That would be wise. He does have Fuel the Fires, as you see, his glowing lumber mill. So he's got Fuel the Fires and Devastation so far. His economy is doing quite well. He has 525 max command point limit. Dwarves have 650. And of course he has those powers and 7 power points remaining. Dwarves have 14 power points remaining. Haven't bought any new powers as of yet. Now Isengard will be pushing into the ford here. Dwarves have a very large army. He's ready to intercept when he gets here. I think this amount of axe throwers and pikes and such should take out the Deathbringers fairly easily. They will take a lot of casualties. He really has to focus down the Deathbringers if he wants to kill them, unfortunately. Leaves the crossbows and such to pick them off. Unfortunately, these crossbows actually went the wrong way. Well, he might get away because the dwarves are not following for some reason. Were they stunned? I don't actually know. Do Deathbringers have a fear? High resistance to knockback? No, they just have Berserk. And a knockback resistance. There's the Men of Dale being summoned in. That should pick off any Isengard troops pretty well. Like I said last game, not Deathbringers, Men of Dale would be a good call for the dwarves. Like real Men of Dale. There you go. This is what J.J.R. should have did last game, get some of these. Men of Dale will be pretty useful here. Dwarves definitely taking command of this game. He's kept Isengard on his back foot the whole game mostly. J.J.R. has put up a good fight though. He's defending quite well. He's still managing to raid his opponent's lands. He does have Sharku on the case. And occasional units or two going around. But I'd say Dwarves definitely have map control. He's got the whole south. No one has the north. Meaning kind of still has control of it in a way. Nobody has control of it. So it doesn't really count towards Isengard having control. Now the dwarves going in, going to take down another Uruk pit that's leveled up to level 3. These level 3 Uruk pits are gotta be killing him. Having to rebuild these and re-upgrade them repeatedly. He really needs to get multiple Uruk pits. Nice Thunderbolt there from Saruman, killing a lot of guys. It is called Thunderbolt. There's like 3 lightning powers, and I always usually get them wrong. There's like Lightning Strike, Thunderbolt, and something else. Thunderball. I think that's only Ball of Thunder or something. That's only a custom hero power though, I believe. For wizards. Well, Isengard will defend here. And he does have a bulk of strong troops, mainly heroes. He's got a Berserker, he's got some crossbows, some Deathbringers, and he's got the 2 strong heroes over here. He also has this Warg Sentry, which is kind of nice. Not too many players use Warg Sentries, but they are pretty useful. These Deathbringers are just destroying the Dwarves. When they come out here, they came out in a bulk clump, and they just absolutely get wrecked because Deathbringers have this giant cleave, and they attack very fast, doing massive amounts of damage, killing lots and lots of Dwarves as they come out of the mineshafts. You have to be careful of that. Any unit with cleave standing in front of a mineshaft can do a lot of damage to your guys as they come out. And Dwarves pick off a furnace down south. War Chant going down with the crossbows. Of course, it wouldn't do anything to put down on these guys. So crossbows is the only thing that the War Chant will affect. So he's got a new Uruk pit. He should really throw down another one like here or something. He does have a couple of arrow towers and the, of course, lightning strike from the wizard tower as well to use for defense next time. So that's good for him. So the Dwarves will be taking up the outpost here. BraBox doesn't want any more wildman attacks on his base here. And looking to gain map control as well with all these mines. Unfortunately for J.J.R, BraBox is getting a bit out of control with the old map control. He has the south, and he pretty much has the north now. And he also has his base. So he has, what, 75% of the map covered in mineshafts? Not good for J.J.R. Not good at all. And of course that does put him ahead in economy as well. 875 and troops. And it's 650. So he can field a bigger army, and he has more economy. Of course, Isengard just have things to make up the economy part, but he can't build as many troops. That is an issue. And the main part is his issue is he's not building as many troops because he doesn't have enough of the freaking barrackses. He's going too heavy on the Deathbringers, in my opinion. Well, not too heavy, but he should still be supplementing Deathbringers with crossbows or pikes or something. Not just Deathbringers and heroes. But hey, if he thinks it'll work, by all means. He's just about to get a 25 power as well. He's really on the verge of that. I think he knows there's an army coming from the Dwarves. He'll be engaging over there. See how close the Dwarves are to a 25. He has 9 power points. Not very close at all. Isengard's definitely doing way better in the power point front. So we'll see what he gets very shortly. I'll just keep it on his screen to see which power he chooses. I can't remember already what he can get. I think he gets Dragon as his first power. I guess we'll find out shortly. Dragon will be pretty destructive on the Dwarven base. It'll slow him down a bit, but it won't destroy the Dwarves, as you might imagine. God, those Thunderbolts from Saruman are absolutely devastating. And of course he has his Fireballs and Wizard Blast still intact. Although he's not using them for whatever reason. They do cool down. I mean, you can use them. Ooh, and the Wizard Tower taking out a lot of guys there with the Lightning Strike. Nice hit there. I mean, I guess Saruman doesn't need to use his power, but by the time he got over here after using his powers, he could have used them again, I think. Mayhaps, maybe not. He still hasn't chosen power. I guess he's very busy. He's going to lose a furnace in the center, though. There we go. He's chosen Dragon. I'll save it on his... leave it on his screen until he uses it. He's using Vision of the Palantir, so he could use his Dragon. There we go. And go back to observing all players. Dragon's looking to do some damage to the Dwarven base. He really needs to go through these Hall of Warriors, I think, and then this. There's so many mine shafts on the field, I don't think targeting down the mine shafts and the base would be much of a hit to the Dwarves, honestly. This is nice, though. Dragon's strike is so large that he can hit this and also hit the back building. And that's why Dragon is very good. He does that with units as well, of course. We need to go for the mine shaft instead of the thing. I'm not saying that's a bad call. He does actually just one-shot mines, which is kind of nice. If you could get him here and then target that way, he will actually do what he did last time. Looks like he's opting not to do that, though. Dragon positioning is pretty key. There's a large attack on his base, though. Seems Dwarves are pushing in hard here. With some Summon Men of Dale as well. And probably some real men of Vale, yep. I think Isengard will be okay. The Dwarves definitely don't have the force necessary to take him out. The graphic below this tower is really glitching out. Where's Saruman at? Is he dead? I swear I see like a hero down here on my mini-map, but I don't see him. Maybe not. It looks like a little white with orange outline dot like a hero has, but it's definitely not. Ah, there he is. White Wizard is still alive. Once he gets level 10, that's going to be destructive. Wormtongue is very good. Ooh, Lurk's throwing his life away, unfortunately. Now, Isengard's taking a lot of damage. Dwarf's getting some power points in the process. He does have Barrage? He does have Barrage. A Barrage right here would be pretty nice right now. Kill the Berserkers, possibly kill the Urk Pit as well. And these arrow towers, but he needs an army to attack, follow the attack with. He doesn't overly have. Most of them are hobbits, we ain't gonna do much, and these guys will despawn. Nope, these ones won't. Those ones will, though. Of course, the Berserkers get killed off by the Men of Dale and the other guys pretty easily. God, Saruman, you're such a monster. So good. And of course, this Warg Sentry is actually helping out as well. Doesn't look like they do a ton of damage, but I mean, they do damage when they get close, so it's nice to have. It kind of forces you to not want to go that way. And the Wargs are decently tanky enough. I think they're stronger than the ones from the Warglairs. Well, Isengard easily defended that attack, I'd say. So BraBox will have to try again. While J.J.R. is pushing in with some Deathbringers, possibly trying to do some damage. From behind the mine shaft. BraBox just destroying it himself. Saving a bit of resources, saving himself power points for the enemy. These Deathbringers level 9. They can use their Death Wish. Of course, it does lower their armor, but their damage goes through the roof. If you use those on a fort or something, they will absolutely destroy that thing. A few battalions, like 2 battalions of Deathbringers can actually take down a fort fairly quick, so you do have to be careful. The Dwarves could still lose this pretty easily. Isengard could pull this back quite quickly. And I'd say he's on the track to do so. His BraBox seems to be losing ground that he shouldn't be. His army is not existent as well. He's just losing mine traps left and right. Looks like he's trying to push in the south, but I'd actually say J.J.R. Rambo is doing pretty well. At first I didn't think his strategy was very good with the Berserkers and heroes and such, but it's really paying off late game, I'd say. So he's proven me wrong that he's managed to live this long, and it's starting to pay off. I mean, the Dwarves are by no means anywhere close to dead. BraBox still has the ability to put out armies very quickly, fairly strong armies as well. But the leveled up Saruman is just going to be very hard to deal with for the Dwarves. He doesn't have any heroes of his own to actually deal with them himself. And of course, if he did, look at that. We have Corroded Allegiance from Wormtongue now, who is now leveled 8. So that would be really bad for him. Say having a Gimli with a Slayer, and then having it turn on his own army wouldn't be ideal. Really, that would be the only way he could try and counter Saruman too well. Gimli the Slayer would actually wreck Saruman, but it would be difficult to actually have happen. And of course, Lurks can pin him in place, negating the Slayer for a majority of the time, which is also something nice to keep in mind. He's used his Death Wish ability. These guys have lowered armor and more attack. Potentially he didn't need to use the Death Wish. They already one-shot guys, don't they? So he's just really taking more damage for no reason. Oh, I thought that was Prince Brand for a second. It's just a single Men of Dale in the woods. Should probably deal with that before he actually kills someone. You're gonna poke an eye out with that thing, boy. There you go, put him down. He didn't know what he was doing. Just firing random arrows. Sharku's level 9. All the Isengard troops are just so strong now, the heroes. Of course, when they level up, they get increased health and attack, as do everything else. And in conjunction with Deathbringers, it makes it very hard to deal with. Which should probably not be in bow mode attacking Mineshafts, though. Just a pro tip. As it's not going to really help him much. He is level 10, so the level up part doesn't really matter, but I mean, he does way more sword damage. As you would expect. Oh no, Saruman taking control of the army of the dwarves with his worm tongue. And now these phalanxes looking to stab some men of Dale. The backstab is real. I think it's... is it permanent? Permanently gain control of target enemies. Oh god. I thought it was temporary. So yeah, leveled up Saruman is absolutely going to be a monster here. Now he has phalanxes to actually fight his enemy with. That is unfortunate. Do they still count towards BraBox's army though? Count. I remember back in the day on the Xbox, there's a custom hero called Tumna who would steal enemies or steal guys from your army. And then people just steal your guys when Tumna was played. And then they just put them in the back of your base. But because it still counted towards your command points and not the person who is owning them from stealing them. It was a bit silly. But you could actually force your opponent to not be able to have any troops. If you took all his troops and he's still paying for them with command points. It's ridiculous. Hopefully that's fixed, but who knows. I can't say for sure. What I can say for sure is Isengard has got 1,000 command points and 801 used. And dwarves have half of that basically, and only 180 used. Dwarves definitely being dwarfed here. Excuse the pun. If that even is a pun. He's also sitting on 23,000 resources. So Isengard could, Jesus. I don't even know how you'd spend that. He could go for upgrades and such. Yeah, Isengard's definitely going to win this game. He could upgrade all of his barracks. He could have like 20 barracks level 3 at this point. And there's no reason not to. I'd say the dwarves definitely don't have a chance of winning this game anymore. Isengard's got too out of control. Their heroes got too high level. And he's been allowed to just run around with Deathbringers and Berserkers the whole game, making things very difficult. That just shows that Isengard late game can have some power. I tend to have issues with Isengard late game, being Isengard, and winning games, like finishing off the enemy. It seems effective enough. I mean, obviously Saruman's always going to be useful. And I guess against, like, say a fully upgraded Elven army, with like Silverthorns and Mirkwoods and Noldors, may not work so well. But against the dwarves it seems pretty effective. Of course, dwarves didn't have any early heroes, and I think that really hurt them. But at the same time, the late game, that would have hurt himself because of the worm tongue. So I think J.J.R makes some smart decisions here that allowed him to win the game, or potentially win the game. He could still lose, but I'd say he's very suited to win the game very shortly. So using his devastation there. With this amount of Berserkers and Deathbringers, he will take down the fort in no time. So that will be pretty bad. And of course he will have his powers. He's gaining lots of power points. He almost has enough for his Dragon Strike as well. Actually, he has to get the... Does he? He may have went down both sides of the tree. I can't tell really. But... yeah, things are not going well for BraBox. Definitely not like last game. And it seems Isengard might win both of these matchups. Different players playing Isengard, but both going to win as Isengard nonetheless. I really thought dwarves were going to win this game early on. He had Isengard cornered for a bit, but he wasn't able to finish him because of the heroes. It just shows you the power of heroes. Definitely want to take advantage of that when you can. Of course, some teams have more heroes than others, like the elves and men. And hero spam can be an absolute mess. I absolutely hate people that hero spam. But at the same time, late game, and you can afford it, and you've got them all leveled up, you got the time, why not? You know, I'd say you'd be silly not to hero spam if you have the ability. Seems the Siege Works was taken out there. Looks like Isengard was looking to do a sort of siege here. It's building a new one. So J.J.R is potentially going to go for a mine or potentially a ballista or battering ram, something of that nature. I mean, a battering ram would be enough, really, but I think a mine would be a nice way to finish this game. I would love it. But it doesn't mean it will happen. We're trying to keep attacking, though. BraBox not giving up, which is commendable. Although his men are just being slaughtered everywhere they go. The Berserkers and Deathbringers are just so monstrous. I mean, Deathbringers are essentially like Berserker times 10. So, it's really difficult to deal with. Especially when you have 3 battalions of them on the field. Could have sworn I just heard a dragon. Oh, there's a dragon strike. I didn't hear that be cast, but it has been cast. Doesn't do a terrible amount of damage to the fortress, I will admit. And there's the real dragon. In patch 1.06 of Alpha Miller 2, the dragon strike will take down your fort. Straight up. It is so bad. So overpowered. I don't know who does. I don't know who made that decision, but it was awful. I hate it. Granted, it is stoppable if you have enough arrow towers, but come on. Takes down your fortress? No. Should never be that strong. I like the fact that it's not super strong against fortresses in this. It will take down everything else, armies or other structures. Now we do have battering rams in the base of BraBox. And of course, the dragon hopefully doesn't burn his own men. Last game there seemed to be a lot of friendly fire from dragon fire. If he does attack the fort, he will actually burn his battering ram. Hopefully he realizes this. No, it's just out of the range of the dragon fire. In comes another battering ram, and this should be the end of the game for BraBox, unless he's built in the south. Oh, he has a citadel down there, actually. Wasn't aware of that. So he won't be out of the game yet, but his fort is gone. Can you still cast powers with a citadel? I think so, yeah. Because it still counts as a fortress. You can still build builders out of it. It's just not quite as a fortress as you would hope. So, BraBox being cornered down here now, doing all he can to attack his opponent. But I think J.J.R has sealed the deal here. As soon as he figures out where the dwarves are hiding, which I'm sure he knows exactly where they are. He has map control of almost the whole map, except for this bottom left corner. So that's pretty safe to assume that's where he is. Which of course Sharku has spotted it. Sharku's level 10. Has Man-Eater on autocast. In come the battering rams. 3 of them. Those will absolutely destroy that citadel. Of course he doesn't want to send them in by themselves. I think it will be picked off with a minute of Dale though, probably. Potentially. The Menodale actually targeting down the Berserkers. Of course, he did use the power for the Berserkers, which probably wasn't necessary because they would have one-shotted these phalanxes anyway, and they would have still had more armor. The phalanxes are not going to manage to take down these guys before they take down the citadel. And once the citadel is lost, all hope is lost. BraBox canceling his other structures because he knows he's gone, and the game is over. And J.J.R takes that game. So both players won a game. I believe each one, when they were hosting, won the match. So there you go. A nice little match between Isengard and Dwarves once again. And well played to those players. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I will see you in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02. See you next time.